welcome back to 100 Blocks in 2025. Today is a really, really big day because this block that we're about to do is number 100. So officially, I will have met the challenge of getting 100 blocks done. Now, of course, I had to add to the challenge and make myself do 112 so we could do our layout that we want to do. But today is the 100th block. I'm really super excited about it. And it's a slightly different twist because today we're actually going to make two blocks, so 100 and 101, but we're going to do it from two different books, and there's a reason why. Let's take a look at the block we're going to do first. All right, today the starter block is going to be this one, and I'm going to do these together for a very specific reason because a lot of times these blocks, they're old antique type blocks, and when people put together a book like this that's a compilation of patterns, you know, it's, oh, aren't these copyrighted? And, you know, are we allowed to show them? Well, actually, yes, we are, because this is a very antique type block, and it's just the size and how we put it together and all of that matters. So I'm actually not handing you all of these patterns. I'm just showing you how you can put the block together. And also, there's a block exactly like it in the Tula book with a tiny little tweak. So we're going to make both of them today. This one starting out with two colors because this Streak of Lightning block on page 219, it's block number 92 in the Farmer's Wife book, is called Streak of Lightning. And how we make this block is really a series of 1.5 inch squares and 1.5 by 2.5 inch rectangles. So in order to make, we've got sort of a light and a dark here, which is basically what we have here. And if we just look at the dark for a second, we know we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rectangles and 1, 2, 3 squares. So 3 1.5 inch squares, 8 1.5 by 2.5 inch rectangles. Now let's look at the light. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rectangles and 1, 2, 3 squares. So it's 3 squares of each, and your lights will be 7 rectangles, your darks will be 8 rectangles, and then all we need to do is just lay it out. And it's basically 4 pieces for every row, sometimes 3. So we're going to start with our light square and add a dark rectangle and then a light rectangle. This might take me a minute to get all these together, and then a dark square. Okay, it is going to take me a bit. So that's how we get the start of our pattern, and then we're going to change it up and do a repeat for the next row. So we're going to have, basically these are rectangles in this row, and we're going to have dark, light, dark on this one. That's going to give us that row. Then we're going to repeat the row opposite. So we have a dark square, light rectangle, dark rectangle, light square. Then we repeat this row backwards. So we go light, dark, light this time. And then we finish up. Oh, no, there's actually 6 rows to this one. I forget. So that one done. Then we go back to the original first block. There we go. And we finish up with that last row of dark, light, dark. Dark, light, dark. There we go. And I actually have an extra square because I just happened to cut a bunch of rows out, so I knew I was going to have one extra square. I'm going to put that in my little bank of pieces that we're going to use later. And so here it is. This is the Streak of Lightning. So all I have to do is sew together each of my rows and then sew the rows together in a 6-row format. And the really cool thing about this block is because it's laid out by bricks, there are no seams to match. So where the seam falls here and here and here is right in the center of each row. So you don't have to align anything. This is a great block to not have to pin if you just align your rows from the front front seam to the end seam, it should go together pretty well. So let me go ahead and go sew that together. We'll come back and take a look at it, and then we'll move on to our second block. All right, everybody. So what I've done is I sewed every single row together, and then sewed each piece in the row, and then sewed the rows together, and I wound up with my streak of lightning block, which is really fun. So what's our next one that we're going to do? Well, I found this in the Moda book, and let's just set it really right here so we can look at them together. So this is I'm sorry, not in the Moda book, in the Tula book, on page 61, number 24, we have a different type of block. And if you'll notice, it's really exactly the same. It's made up of those 1.5 inch squares and the 1.5 by 2.5 inch rectangles. In this case, this block has 3 colors. So we have this dark here, and we have a light purple, and we have this stripe. So all we're doing is alternating these 3 colors. So in order to do this block, we need 3 different colors. And for this block, we need 2 1.5 inch squares of each color and 5 1.5 by 2.5 inch rectangles of each color. And then we can lay this block out. And I'm just going to turn it so we can see it in the same direction as we did the other one, which is this horizontal direction, because this way we're looking at it vertically. So let's look at it in the horizontal direction. So over here I have my 3 colors. Those are my 3 colors, light, medium, and dark, or in this case, kind of like the stripe. So I'm going to pretend this one is my stripe. There's my light and my dark, and I'm just going to lay the block out exactly the way it shows in the book. We're going to do dark, light, and then a stripe of our rectangles. And then we use a dark square, a light rectangle, a striped rectangle, and another dark square. So that uses up our dark squares. We're probably going to have to move this up a little bit because I can tell we're going to run out of room. Now the only thing I do want to make sure is I want to make sure that all my parts for this directional print are going in the same direction, just so that it looks nice when I go to put it together. But I don't have to match anything. All right, so then for our next row, we have a light rectangle, a striped rectangle. Oh, this one's bent a little bit. We'll fix that with the iron on the way by. Right, and then a dark rectangle. There we go. Put those together. And then the next row, we have a light square, right? Then our stripy rectangle, our dark rectangle, and our light square. We're making our way through this. Then we have our stripe, dark rectangle, and light rectangle. And our last row is our stripe, our dark rectangle, our light rectangle, and our stripe. So there we go. That is our number 24 block, which is essentially exactly the same block, our streak of lightning or our alternating brickwork pattern, but it's just in 3 colors. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this one exactly the same as I did the other one, just sewing each piece in the row to make the rows, and then sewing all 6 rows together. And we'll compare them when they're done. And here we go, all done. I think this is really a fun way to put a block together. It's certainly a fun way to do a quilt. You can stair step with lots of different colors. You can add these blocks together any way that you want. I also think they're kind of fun to go in opposite directions. It's going to make kind of a weird secondary pattern of scraps. And so they're super, super fun to make. But most importantly, I wanted you guys to see how the pattern books that we all know and love and read all have things that are eerily similar to one another. They are antique ideas that have been in books for hundreds of years, and we pull them out and we make them new again by changing the size and twisting and turning and adding our own fabrics and everything. But basically, they're all about the same. So whether you're digging around in the Farmer's Wife book, which has much more traditional patterns, or you're digging around in the Tula Pink book, which is much more modern patterns, you still see echoes of the past in everything that we do. And I thought it would be fun to put basically the same block, it's exactly the same block, together in another fun way. So this is block number 100 and block number 101. And this is the first time that we've shown two different patterns in two different books on the same video. So that's kind of fun. All right, so I'm going to keep making blocks, and I'm going to get to my magic number of 112. We have a few more videos left in the series to do that are just blocks, and then we'll go up and get ready and finish our final project. If you're just tuning in for the very first time, you can find all of the blocks that we've done on our YouTube channel at Cabin Quilters in the playlist for 100 blocks of 2025. And you can find more information about me at cabinquilters.com, where you can see all the things we have to offer in our shop, our classes, also our quilt retreats and our quilt cruise in 2027. So go definitely check it out. By the way, if you're watching this and you're one of our many viewers that view this and then run away and forget to like and subscribe the video, do think about liking and subscribing. It makes a huge, huge, huge difference to the channel, because it lets other people who watch some of the same content you do let them know about us. And if you're watching on a mobile device, consider hitting that hype button so that we can be found in a sea of other quilting content creators. And until next time, I hope you're having fun and having happy quilting, and I will see you guys in the next one.